Just a few years ago, this modest Cherepovets kid cracked Severstal's lineup. It wasn't easy, but he became part of the team's core. And then he made his debut for national team Russia. He was even on the preliminary Olympics list. In a matter of several years, he accomplished what millions can only dream about. He's one of the best young defensemen in the league. He used to be Cherepovets' biggest star, and now he plays for Red Army. Today we're gonna talk about Bogdan Kiselevich. Kiselevich was never the best of the crop. He never played for either under-18 or junior team Russia. He didn't stand out even when he played shinny. He played his first game for Team Russia after he turned 23. He was always surrounded by guys with better skating, shot or passing skills. That makes his journey to pro hockey one of a kind. I read many interviews of other players, says Kiselevich. Some of them say that when they were kids, they would look like Harlamov play and try to do the same stuff on the ice. Some guys say they always knew they would play pro hockey. I never dreamed of that. It wasn't one of my goals. I didn't give my future much of a thought. One thing I knew, though, was that I loved going to practices. I enjoyed everything hockey had to offer. Bogdan Kiselevich was born in Moscow. His parents were in the military. He began his hockey career when he was 6 years old. Usually, if you don't stand out offensively, junior coaches would put you on defense. That was his case exactly. Last season, he was one of the top defensemen on Severstal. In 2008, he refused to go to the WHL to play for the Tri-City Americans. SKA wanted to sign him twice, but he went to Red Army instead. I guess this looks like a stick I would use. It's light and soft. I don't like them hard. The curve looks like mine, but not exactly. They make a slightly different curve just for me. Also, my sticks are obviously longer. I tape the end of the shaft so that my hand wouldn't slide. Some guys like it when they can slide up and down like they're playing violin or something, but it's not for me.
На скрипке, грубо говоря, играть, да, мне, чтобы пожестче вот так просто взять и не отпускать ее. Вот это стандартный, по-моему, загиб там саки.
This is a standard curve. Mine is a little different.
Вот, у меня что-то среднее там.
Some guys like curves like that.
Кто-то любит вообще винт такой.
Do you see the difference? This stick is better to lift the puck off the ice.
Другая. Здесь шайба в основном верхом летит.
My curve is well balanced. It's equally good for anything.
Вот мой загиб. Она такая, ну, средняя во всем. Средней жесткости, средний такой загиб.
Kiselevich is young, but even when he was a kid, the biggest obstacle to play hockey was the lack of equipment. Even such basics as skates and hockey sticks were rare. Today I can just point at the stuff I need, but back when I was a kid I was lucky to have these gloves. My dad found them at some military storage. As for sticks, they were pretty simple with no curve at all. And I was glad to have any skates at all. I knew a guy, he was a truck driver, so he brought me skates from Finland. I played in them for 4 years. I had to patch them up and everything. As I said, equipment wasn't easy to find. A lot of players shine when they're really young. Some of them go to the World Juniors and beat European or Canadian teams like it's nothing. And then some of them just disappear. And then there are these other guys that were never in the spotlight, but they kept on working hard, got more experience, and used their opportunities to the fullest. These are the guys you see now play. Severstal hires a new coach every season. Kiselevich was getting a lot of ice time under both Dmitry Kvartalnev and Andrei Nazarov. And he's definitely a key player for Igor Petrov. Last season he named him assistant captain. He was a big part of every Severstal game, win or lose. He was responsible for the result as a leader, as a Severstal school alumnus, and as a citizen of Cherepovets. I remember when I was a kid, hockey was a big event at this community. Every important person in town would come to the old rink. It was the biggest attraction in Cherepovets. Like theater in St. Petersburg. Ladies would come in stunning fur coats and men would be all dressed up too. Not much has changed after they built this new rink, but Severstal is not playing nearly as well as before. Those who don't come to the game still follow them on the radio or TV. Severstal means a lot to Cherepovets. Kiselevich may be a little rushed with opponents at his own end, but at the same time he's really well spoken. He would never show any disrespect towards his teammates, his opponents or his town. He feels personally responsible for the fans' expectations. He knows this town and these people too well. Metallurgy is not a meaningless word to him. My granddad worked at a factory. I know it's a lot of work. I know what they do for a living. They are the reason why this town is in existence. They are the reason this town has a hockey team. Severstal didn't have a great season last year. Their leaders joined other teams and their shoes were left unfilled. That led to a great misfortune. This team is growing with every passing day. We had fun at every practice. There was a lot of hard work, but also a lot of smiling. Sometimes we even had fights because somebody would be too aggressive at practices. I'm really not the right person to ask about rebuilding, but I'd say this team has a lot of potential. There were a lot of times last season when I'd come to the dressing room after the game and everybody would look just absolutely gassed. Everybody gave everything they could, but in the end we still lost. It happened 5 or 6 times. We kept making the same mistakes. This was a good lesson for us. You have to play hard till the very end in every game. My birthday is February 14th. My wife wanted me to feel good when I'm driving, so she did this. They also painted something on the snow with my father-in-law. I was pretty happy that day. And this is where I live. We're staying at my wife's parents for now. What is the best way to forget about a loss? Here's an unusual solution: Lego. As it turns out, it's a much better way compared to some other popular choices. I like to relax at home after practices and games. I just sit at my laptop and play video games for hours. One day my wife got fed up with this because I wasn't really partaking in any home activities. So she started bringing me Lego. She said it would be better for me. And this is what I do now. Just a few days ago I built a pretty big car. I still have 2 more boxes though. The Kiseleviches are expecting a daughter. And Bogdan, like any soon-to-be father, spends all his time playing. I usually play with my friends. We just Skype each other, set a time, and off we go. We usually play around 9 or 10 p.m. when they get back from work. But right now we're playing 15 versus 15 mode, and I don't know any of these guys. I have no idea about their strategies or whether they're good or not. I played with Ivan Kasudin when he was here, but he's one of the top guys in this game. He started way before I did. I need something like 10,000 more battles so I would match his rank. It would take me about 6 months, but most of my friends play Warcraft. When I found out we're gonna have a baby, my dad told me basically to enjoy the last days, because my life is about to change forever. He told me I would care only about my family. I'm adjusting little by little, and I can't wait for the big day. He's one of the best defensemen in the league, said Severstal forward Linus Vidal. If he didn't play for us, it would have been really hard for our team. He's a good and very talented guy from Cherepovets, says Severstal forward Vadim Bernikov. Besides, he plays for Team Russia. Just look at him. Just look at the way he skates. I've seen a lot of parents bringing their kids to the practice just to watch him, because he's from around, and that sets a good example. He already achieved a lot, but I think he's gonna achieve even more. It's a shame he didn't go to the Olympics. Bogdan is what this team is all about, says Severstal defenseman Stanislav Kalashnikov. He's the biggest joker on our team, that's for sure. He brings good atmosphere to the team. He has a great frame, but he also puts a lot of work out there too, says Severstal serviceman Nikolai Loginov. He always stays after practices to work individually with conditioning coach. On our last day off, he came over, sat on a bike and worked as hard as ever. That's why he's able to log off these big minutes every game. It's really important to never quit and never stop believing in your team. You can't just go out there and skate around. The fans are gonna see it right away. Even when things aren't going your way, you have to keep going. Even when you're losing, you have to give it your best. You still have to send a message to the other team that next time it won't be so easy. Severstal missed the playoffs this past season. Kiselevich wasn't called up to play for Team Russia at the World Championship, but he received a great offer from Red Army and he decided to sign it. This should open a whole new chapter in his career.